When everyone got upset when I did my interview with Pastor Toby, and everyone was talking about, you know, he's really bad, and I said, okay, Pastor Toby might be bad, but why do we not have this vim for our local drug dealer? You're talking about Pastor Toby
I've got that same
manipulating young boys, but so is the local drug dealer that is selling them to cunch.
I said that same thing.
They're both just as bad as each other.
I said that same thing.
Have the energy for everyone. Don't now turn your blind eye to actually something that is on your doorstep. To Pastor Toby that is
I agree with that.
But it's removed from you. Do you get what I mean?
I agree with that. I agree with you.
You talking WhatsApp?
I agree with that. I agree with that. But the only thing on that though is that at least the local drug dealer is saying it with his chest, like, listen, I sell drugs in the ends. I want to get these young kids to crunch. He's not pretending to use God and going down that.
There's no
black and white. Like you said, you don't think black and white.
I think black and white. I don't do this. I say bad is bad. At the end of the day, in our community, we love to talk about, you know, only if there's evidence. Oh yeah, he bust case. He this. Well, there ain't no evidence. So as far as I'm concerned, if they're gonna go by what our community talks about when it comes to your like the guy on the street, and if he bust case, and if there's enough evidence, and what blah blah, the man's been arrested plenty of times. I think Pastor Toby, he's been investigated. Now, for whatever reason, he manages to get off. The police have not arrested him, and he's not been found guilty of nothing. So if I, as a journalist or somebody that is interviewing him, I can only go by if he's been convicted, not by what he say or she says. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if you're angry, my whole thing is, if you're angry at Pastor Toby for manipulating young people, be angry about the guy that is sending little boys to cunch, taking them out of school and actually putting their life in danger. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that to me is a bigger issue than if
Pastor Toby feels a bigger issue though.
How? They're not. One's not better than each other.
Yeah,
but if I was a mother and I had to choose, would I prefer my child to have bad credit, or would I prefer him to possibly die? Bad credit. That's it.
I hate a wolf in sheep's clothing. At least I would like to see.
But when the drug dealer is approaching the young boy, do you think he's telling him about all the dangers that he's going to come across?
Yeah, but they know
They manipulate.
They do. But you do have to kind of sit them down and street school them though, and understand what comes of it.
You're not going to say there's a possibility that you might die, and there's a possibility you're going to end up in jail.
Common sense.
No, it's not. Not to a 10-year-old. Not if I'm
not that young, but they're not that young, are they?
Even a 13. Not if I'm putting a nice pair of trainers in front of you, say, all you got to do is carry this, and I'm going to give you another pair of trainers. Or what? Like you said, you wanted those new PlayStation. I can do that for you. All you got to do is just go up to Crunch and take this. They're not saying, do you know what? If you get caught with this, you're going to go to prison. In fact, if in Crunch, it could turn real bad for you, and you might die. It's still as bad as each other. If the drug dealer that is sitting down with me has made it and he's driving around in a nice Merc and a Range Rover, it doesn't look dangerous. It looks like it's worth its while.
I reckon if we went to a primary school and secondary school, spoke to these young kids and said, going to country over, they'll all know it's illegal. They'll all know what they're doing is wrong.
They have a better grasp of it.
It's not about it being illegal. There's loads of things that we do is illegal. We jumped the trains and we knew it was illegal, but we know we're not going to get in that trouble. Yeah. It's about the repercussions of what you're doing, of the illegal things that you're doing. So the repercussions of the illegal things that you're doing, it could result to death, can result to you being in prison, can result to something bad happening to your family. Do you know what I mean? They're not sitting down.
I don't want to. When I first met you, you was quite.
I was Christian.
Yeah, you was quite religious.
Reading the Bible.
Are you still religious in that way, or?
Yeah, I was very much, and I was like, very like.
You was even going out with.
Yeah, I was going out with
Christian
someone
rapper
and all that stuff, and I was, trying, being holy and all that good stuff. And then as I've got older, the Bible clearly says that it's better to be cold than lukewarm. Okay. And not be like in the middle. So I find it weird when people say like they're Christians, and everyone has their own journey, so don't come for me. This is my opinion. Like when you say you're like heavily involved in like religion, not even Christianity, any sort of religion, and you know what you're doing is wrong, but your reasoning is, but God will forgive me. And to me that doesn't make sense, because like God doesn't forgive you because you're knowingly sinning, and then you do it because you know you're going to be forgiven. It's like a man that cheats, isn't it? Like imagine if your husband came home to you and was just like, or your wife was like, well, I cheated, but I know you're going to forgive me, so I knew it was wrong when I was doing it. But
and it just means you can keep doing it because you feel like you're just going to keep getting forgiven.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think that is respectful to God.
Of course not.
It's actually mugging God, because you're basically saying, you know what, I can do a madness, but I still believe, I'm not like an atheist or anything like that, but I felt really hypocritical, like especially when I started having sex and stuff like that, and then I'd be going to church on Sunday, but then Sunday night I'm sucking dick. That doesn't make sense to me. Do you know what I mean? How can I be going to church on Sunday morning and I'm doing a crud on Sunday evening, and then but in my head I'm thinking, as long as God forgives me? I think that's mugging God. I think imagine if, like, as a human being, someone keeps telling you, I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I know you're going to forgive me, so I'm going to keep doing it. But as long as I come back and say I'm sorry, then it's okay. Yeah. Like, what? Like, I just don't. And until
that's what a lot of people do, innit? They need that.
And that's reassurance. Their own walk, and they feel like that works. And you know, it works for them, and it's whatever. But me personally, at the moment, I'm cold.
Do you think as you get older, you may become more spiritual again? And
maybe. Do you know, I can sometimes I can feel myself becoming a little bit more spiritual, as in, like, I might say, like, at one point I wouldn't even say, please God, because I just thought it was hypocritical, because I'm not going to church, and it's like, I'm only saying please God because now I need God. Do you get what I mean? Not because, you know, yesterday when I was a K, I wasn't saying please God. Do you get what I mean? So I
only in times of adversity.
Yeah, it's only like I'm saying this now, and I felt bad. So maybe technically, I still, like, I obviously still care, and I have a respect for religion, because it's not because I'm like, fuck this, I don't believe it, it's bullshit. It's more of a thing like, it's a bit hypocritical of me. I'm like, I'm only praying now, or I'm only saying this because I'm in need, and I feel like, oh my God, do you know what I mean? But now, as I've got a little bit older, and maybe as I've calmed down a lot as well, maybe, but I haven't been to church in a while. Yeah,
I mean, I've never been super religious, but I do feel like as I get older, I'm getting more spiritual. I'm just seeing little things that just make me feel like there has to be something. Whereas when I was young, it was like, nah, like, you're just not looking at it like that. ZZ Mo shows is popping, killing it, you're doing your thing. How come you didn't do it on your own YouTube channel? Why have you done it on Trend Central?
Trend Central is run by a black person, and we are always complaining that we don't have our own platforms. We don't have our own BBC. We don't have our own, like, BBC 3, which is now online. We don't have that as black people. We don't have anything like that really here. I mean, we've got stuff like Grime Daily and like Link Up and all those things.
We have YouTube platforms.
We've got YouTube platform, but we don't have but that's also,
we don't have a platform for loads of different types of content.
We don't have loads of different basically. So my thing with staying with Trend Central was that I want there to be a platform where it's like loads of different content can go on. I get
it's
not just music, because like,
you're not just coming here for my content.
You can come here for every music, you can come for loads of different things. You know what I mean? There's loads of things that you can watch on things. So, and I think us as black people, sometimes we are really caught up on everything has to be my own. Everything's got to be my own. But how are we ever going to build a BBC 3 if we all decide we all need our own platforms? Do you get what I mean? Because then there's nothing there. That's how the BBC grows, because people want to come on the BBC and people want to go on Channel 4 and they want to think.
I'm not saying you should leave Trend Central. I'm saying, why can't you have ZZ Mills alongside all of that?
No, because then
that's taken away from that.
Because then I would take ZZ Mills off Trend Central and put it on my show.
Because we're at such a disadvantage, black people. We're so much about individual. Like, I need to just do this and I need to do that, rather than like, let's do this.
You can do both.
But as soon as you start, you can't really. You can.
You can.
It's only to a certain extent, though. Because as soon as you start building up your thing, it's taken away from something else. So it's like, let's all eat together.
People always say to me about the ZZ Mills show. Why don't you do it on your own platform? And sometimes I think, maybe. But then sometimes I just think, I've always spoken about us as black people having our own, network or something.
Yeah, I see that.
And it's difficult, because I get it. Everyone wants to kind of
But that's cool if you have ownership in it, though.
Of ZZ Mills show?
No, of even the network.
I think it's funny because people always be like, why don't you have your own show and I mean, why don't you have your own platform? But if now I got picked up by BBC, no one would say that. No one would be like, why don't you just do your own thing on your own platform? They wouldn't. It's because it seems like it's a really great thing. But that's us as a mentality. It's like, it's just do you get what? Even if I was on BBC Three with my own show, which is online on YouTube, people would never say, "Oh, how come you're not going to put your ZZ Mill show on your own channel?" It's because it's trend central and it doesn't seem like it's a big thing. Yeah. But there's loads of, or if I got, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like a thing.